Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a Tuesday live stream. I thought tonight we would talk a little bit about G.I. Joe Classified, reminisce about, well, not reminisce, but uh, speculate on what possibly this year's G.I. Joe Classified Haslab is going to be. Talk a little bit about tomorrow's Instagram Live with the G.I. Joe brand team and what we might see there. And then who knows what else we'll end up talking about tonight. So let us see who is in the house tonight. So Blade Runner said he wasn't sure if he was going to be here tonight. So I'm not sure if he is, but thanks for the comment. Let's see. Not sure if anyone's commenting or nobody's commenting or what's going on. There we go. Quinn's Comics is in the house. Well, welcome. Hope you're having a good evening as well. 3M is in the house. Princeton, hello, welcome. Phalanx. Is that how you say it? Phalanx? It's like the comics from Marvel. The Phalanx Agenda or whatever it was. Sean is in the house. What's up? John, what's up? CF, how about that Mondo? Did you pre-order? I still haven't pre-ordered yet. I assume it's still available. I think it's supposed to be available for 24 hours. I'm still on the wall. I think it's a really nice looking figure. I'm just not that much into 12-inch figures, so I haven't quite made up my mind. Matt's in the house. Everett, welcome. Retro B, how's it going? I'm still trying to find that Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, New Eternia Beastman figure. My Target hasn't had anything in, which is not terribly surprising. I did manage to pick up this bad boy from GameStop, the Man-Bat figure from McFarlane Toys. I gotta say, I haven't opened it yet, obviously, but it looks pretty good. I think this might be one of the best Man-Bat figures that we've gotten, just from looking at it. So, and then because I wanted to get free shipping when I got the Man-Bat, I told you last week how I had gotten this Hush figure, expecting to get the regular Hush, and I ended up getting this stupid black and white version. So I rolled the dice and ordered another Hush again so I could get the free, so that, after your amount is so high, you get free shipping at GameStop. So this was the only other figure I was interested in. So I rolled the dice and I did get actual painted version of Hush this time. So I now have both the Platinum and the regular edition. I don't think I'm going to get that 2-pack version because those elbows are all screwed up with the paint, the black on the joint, which I think looks stupid. So I don't think I'm going to get that one. I'm sure that Batman figure will get re-released either in black again or probably blue or both. So I'll probably just wait and get for that to happen. Cub76 says he found 2 Beastman at his Target. Nice. I figure given a little time, it's not going to be a hard figure to get. And eventually, starting next month, it'll be available everywhere. So not just Target. But even Target, my guess is, give it a little time and it won't be that hard to get. None of the other Masterverse figures have been terribly difficult. Jerry says the Man-Bat blows the DCUC version out of the water. And I don't have that one. I don't think I have that one. But I was thinking more along the lines of like the DC Direct Collectibles ones that they did, which weren't bad figures, but this one looks better in my opinion. Symbiote Spider-Man. Rashid finally came, and Infinite Frontier Robins. Nice. Blade Runner. Ah, Blade Runner, you made it. So in Germany, 35 euros. I'm not sure what that translates to in American dollars, but hopefully that's not too expensive. Everett, I'm not sure. Wolfman and Mummy, uh, Creature of the Black Lagoon. Are you talking about NECA or somebody else? I'm not sure. Really, Masters of the Universe are hard to find in your area, Southwest Michigan. Do you not have a lot of Targets? Walmart's around here don't, or the I should say, my Walmart near me doesn't carry a lot of Masters, but the Target has had quite a few. Blade, roughly $40. That's not too bad. I mean, for today's prices, that is. Henry G, what's up? Sci-fi and fantasy, welcome. Have I pre-ordered the new Apocalypse? Not yet. I'm on the fence on that one. I'm pretty happy with the Apocalypse. I haven't been collecting the VHS figures, so I don't dislike the Apocalypse. I haven't decided if I want to get it or not. I probably won't pre-order it, but when it starts to come in stock, I may end up getting one. Maybe even just to keep it on the card back. I don't know. But I told you guys last week, I told you it was coming. We don't have the mergers, or however you say that store's name, here. And yeah, my Walmart has some of the Netflix CGI series stuff, but I haven't seen any Masterverse at my Walmart or Origins in a long time. What's up, Wolfpack? What's up, J-Dog from Compton? Dark Hero says he's going to wait till Diamond shows off their Marvel Select Apocalypse. Yeah, it's not... I have a feeling that's going to be a good one. I think we'll see that next month. Zach Oat said in comments somewhere, I think it was on the Shartimus Prime video, where he was showing off that Red Hulk. I think he said July was likely when we were going to see like the Apocalypse figure solicited. Right now, we've only seen the concept art. So... Renegade Biker, what's up? Dark Hero. Can't wait to see the Marvel Select. Yeah, I saw that. I got the same email because I, even though I do have those, I ordered them from I still haven't opened them yet, but I have the newest wave of classified that I got from Robot Kingdom. But I still have a set on pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store as well, and I got that email notification today that the figures have been moved from July to September, which I find weird because, you know, Hasbro in that YouTube live stream the other week, the G.I. Joe Brain team was sitting there like touting how like they had shipped out all their figures from their warehouse, and so retailers were going to be getting their, you know, G.I. Joe figures in now, and it's like, so why is Big Bad Toy Store not getting their order in until September? So I don't know what's up with that. But this Storm Shadow figure is definitely nice. And again, I got mine from Robot Kingdom, which of course is an overseas retailer. And they got stuck in customs. Like I ordered them from Robot Kingdom on May 15th, and they didn't show up until the beginning of June because they got stuck in customs. I haven't decided if I'm going to try and take this like get a second spirit and then take the freedom and give it to my Peacemaker figure for Eagly. It's got the little pegs on the feet, so I guess I would have to drill some arms or some holes in the arm of my Peacemaker if I wanted to make that work. The Wolfpack review. Have I? No, I've not played the Shredder's Revenge. I mean, I have the Turtle arcade game, so I didn't know if I really felt like. I mean, I know it's got other games on there, other retro games on there, but I have not downloaded that. They sent an email about the delay, or they said they were shipping. I also, besides those 3 G.I. Joe figures, I also got a delay on my Cobb Vanth figure that I have on pre-order from Big Bad, telling me that one has also been delayed until September. Thank you, brother, for the super chat donation. Always appreciated. The Alley Viper from Entertainment Earth. Nice. But the other ones like Spirit and Storm next month. Yeah, I don't know if Entertainment Earth will delay theirs until September or not. It'll be interesting to see. I know like Amazon has already been shipping out the Bat and the Alley Viper to people. So hopefully for those of you still waiting on that one, you'll get yours fairly soon on that one. Rashid says his SH Figure Arts Love and Thunder figures. I saw those starting to see release overseas. Sean says he needs his plastic crack. Yeah. Sometimes it's bad when you collect a lot of different lines, but sometimes it's good. So in regards to like delays, it's good because there's still usually something shipping, you know, if you collect multiple stuff. So even though like there's a drought with G.I. Joe Classified, you know, I got McFarlane or, you know, other things. Like I picked up I actually picked up this one at a Target in North Carolina the other week when I was there for my niece's high school graduation. So the new Junkion Junk Keep figure. So I saw that at Target and ended up picking that up. I'm waiting for the new Dinobot to show up. I've seen, I think that started to hit. So that's the one for Transformers I'm really looking forward to. So Blade Runner, yeah. So let's talk a little G.I. Joe Haslab. So, all right. So if you watched the G.I. Joe Haslab, or not Haslab, but the live stream, the YouTube live stream 2 weeks ago now, at the end where they teased the Haslab G.I. Joe Classified logo, you could hear tank treads rolling in the background. So I think that was supposed to be a clue. Now my first thought to that was obviously a HISS tank. That's one of the most iconic G.I. Joe vehicles, or Cobra vehicle. It, you know, an army builder, so somebody would be, you know, possibly willing to buy more than one, depending on the price. You could throw in the HISS tank driver as the initial figure, and then I'm sure you could come up with some additional add-ons. But then I got to thinking, you know, there's a big push going on. Hasbro's got a big push going on right now with Sergeant Slaughter. And so I was wondering, you know, that's a little bit smaller vehicle. So, you know, price wise, it might be a little, you know, they might, if they were going for something a little bit cheaper. You know, my feeling is they're going to have Sergeant Slaughter, you know, on hand at their booth at San Diego Comic-Con this year. So, you know, if that's when they're really going to plug the Haslab, you know, I could see them having Slaughter himself really kind of plugging it to people there at the Hasbro booth. If they did the Triple T tank, which also has treads. So, you know, Sarge's ride. So, Mobat, like most of the G.I. Joe full-size tanks, I think would be too big. to be, if it was really true 6-inch scale. So Mobat, Mauler, Grizzly, those I feel like are going to be too big. Even the Wolverine, I think, would be pushing it. The his tank is a little bit smaller tank, so I think probably his tank is about as big as they would get, is my thinking. But then again, like I said, the Triple T, a little bit smaller. Now, my main thing with the Triple T is just that they're working with Sergeant Slaughter himself right now. He's got the one figure. I figure they could just easily do a repaint of that one, like maybe give him the USA symbol on his shirt, something like that. So it wouldn't cost him a lot to do the initial figure. And then a cool, like cool add-ons would be like the Slaughter Marauders from the G.I. Joe movie. Those guys, they could do on as like add-ons. And I think that would be pretty popular. In fact, that would be the only way I would be remotely interested in getting a Triple T tank is if they added those guys. So his tank still probably is the most logical, again, because it's an army builder. It's the most one of the most recognizable vehicles in G.I. Joe lore. So that's still probably the most likely candidate, but I would not be surprised if they ended up giving us like a Triple T. Yeah, Thunder Machine doesn't have tank tread, so again, I'm going by the little clue they threw in along with the logo of hearing the tank treads rolling in the background. Maybe that was just coincidence. Maybe they just threw that in for fun. But I feel like that was a hint to what the Haslab is going to be. So I'm thinking tank with treads, and the two most logical candidates for that either would be the his tank or again possibly Sergeant Slaughter's Triple T tank. And the reason why I'm ruling out Mobat and Mauler and the Grizzly tanks is because I just feel like those would be too big for Hasbro to do in 6-inch scale. I don't see them doing one of those tanks right now. So smaller vehicle like a his tank. I mean, if we were getting rid of the whole tank tread thing, I could see them doing a Fang copter. Trouble Bubble, though that would be pretty small. But like a Fang copter, a his tank, not trying to think of other kind of smaller vehicle. Like you can go really small, which I think would be, things like the Trouble Bubble or Claw Glider or obviously the motorcycles, things like that. I feel like they could get out at regular retail. So I feel like it's going to be bigger than something like the Ram Cycle, but not super huge like a Whale or a Sky Striker or Rattler or any of those larger vehicles. Sean says this is one of the few Haslabs that he can say is probably all in sight unseen. I, I mean, a his tank, even though is more of a smaller vehicle. I mean, can you imagine a his tank's going to be pretty damn big. I mean, I would probably get it. I would probably get a his tank, but I have no idea where I would display it. I would. I mean, if they do the his now, and that's another question. So say it is a his tank. What version of the his tank would they do? Probably the classic version with the two laser turrets on the top of the on the top of the vehicle. But like my favorite his tank design, I think, is the DTC version, the direct to consumer version. That had like the two rockets on each side, and then you had the little troop carrier department or area in the back. That's actually my favorite his tank design out of all the different his tanks that they've done over the years. Though again, my guess is if it is his tank, it will be the classic design. Yeah, I agree. Trouble Bubble would be too small for Haslab. I think if they wanted to do a Trouble Bubble, they could probably get that out at regular retail or like a Target exclusive or something like they did with the Ram Cycle. Quinn Comics says Transformer crossover figure with Bumblebee is a missed opportunity. It should have been Autobot Hound as the vamp. Well, I suspect and I hope that they are going to do more of those. So I certainly could see them doing Hound as a vamp down the road. So I wouldn't count that out as something that we couldn't see eventually. Um, I feel like I understand going with Bumblebee, which is, a much more well-known character, but I feel like for the Oz Striker, Beachcomber was the more likely, is the actual Autobot that should have gotten the Oz Striker treatment. Of course, I don't know if you wanted to do Bumblebee. I don't know what would have been a good vehicle for Bumblebee. That's kind of the problem with the Autobot side of things is, like Optimus Prime is a semi, but there's not really a good semi vehicle for GI Joe. So, um, I don't know who you would have Optimus Prime transform into for a GI Joe vehicle. I would love to see Trouble Bubble, but again, I just feel like that's too small for a HasLab. And I feel like people would be disappointed if that's what they did for the HasLab. When you think of Hound or when you think of Jazz, because Scatman Crothers was voiced by is the one who did the voice for Jazz, not Hound. And yeah, that's the voice I always think of when I think of Jazz. APC, but APC is kind of a boring vehicle, so I don't know. I mean, yeah, that would probably be the most fitting vehicle for Prime, but I feel like that wouldn't be like a super exciting vehicle for people to get. Being a bridge layer for Omega Supreme, I could see that maybe. Hong Kong Fooey, yeah, I believe he was. I think he did a lot of voices over the years. I don't know. I don't remember who voiced Jazz. I mean, I can hear I can hear Hound's voice in my head, but I don't know who actually voiced him in the cartoon. No, I have not yet pre-ordered that one. I'm still debating. Just again, it's a really nice looking figure, but I'm just not super into 12 inch. So I feel like, do I really need to get that? So I haven't decided. It's a nice figure though. I mean, I'd love to see Mattel do a normal size version of He-Man like that, but probably we won't get that. But yeah, Mondo did a really nice job with that figure. He wants a broadcast energy transmitter for Haslab. See, if we were gonna get something like that, I'd rather see them give us a weather dominator, which they did. They did a weather dominator or even a mass device, and they did both of those in the 3 3/4 inch line. But I wouldn't. A 6 inch scale weather dominator would be kind of cool. I mean, not for Haslab, but Blake, thank you, man. Retro Apocalypse feels more like the animated series than the cell shading line. I hope Hasbro gets away from the cell shading for the animated series line. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm not a huge fan of the cell shading, but I feel like with some of the like Apocalypse in the cartoon had very unique color scheme that was not really what he had in the comics. Whereas a lot of the characters were very much they had the same color schemes in the comics as or well in the comics the cartoon, you know, and so cell shading is like the only way they can like differentiate, like take Nightcrawler for instance, or Rogue, or some of the others. So with Apocalypse, you could just go with a totally different color scheme that differs from the comic version and say this is the animated series, and you don't need the cell shading. But I feel like a lot of the characters, there wouldn't really be any other way to differentiate a comic version versus an animated series version. But I agree, I'm not a fan of the cell shading. Yeah, that I believe we're gonna see next month, July. So probably around Comic Con time. I think that's when they're gonna debut it. Fatal Fluffies. That would be kind of I don't think they've ever done Fatal Fluffies in any scale, so that would be kind of interesting. Like if they gave you both versions, the cute version and then the larger monster version, that'd be kind of interesting. Though I have a feeling a lot of people would be like, "What the hell is that?" Yeah, yeah. Apocalypse was cool in the animated series, and I like the accessories with this animated series version. So we have so and there was a lot of confusion on this, even though hopefully not from you guys who watch my videos and stuff, since I told you that this Apocalypse was going to be part of that 80th or 20th anniversary Marvel Legend line and not the VHS line. When Hasbro announced it yesterday, people were like, "Oh, that's part of the VHS line. It's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive." And I'm like, "No, it's not. It'll be available other places." But but as far as the 20th anniversary stuff goes, we've got three more figures to be revealed by Hasbro. So we've got Scorpion, which I believe will be on a Spider-Man retro card back. We've got the Blue Beast, which I think will have the lab coat that that they teased a while back, and I believe that will be on an X-Men retro card back. And then the third and final figure, I believe, is going to be some version of Ghost Rider. We talked about this before a couple weeks ago, but some version of Ghost Rider. I don't know which version. No bike, no vehicle. Price point is just a normal single figure price point, so I don't think there's any vehicle. And then I'm suspecting that it will be on a Ghost Rider retro card back. So the first Ghost Rider retro card back figure. War Machine was the first Iron Man one, and Ghost Rider I think is going to be the first Ghost Rider one. Renegade says, not a big fan of Diamond Select toys after they screwed up on the Battlestar Galactica Cylon War. Yeah, I mean, Diamond Select toy stuff is hit and miss. They come out with some really good figures, but they also come out with some really poor ones as well. Even with the Marvel Select line itself, you can get some really good ones, and then you can get some really crappy ones. I suspect Apocalypse will be a decent one. Usually their big character ones are pretty good. So I have a feeling the Apocalypse one will be pretty good. But, we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, next month I think is when that's going to get revealed. I wouldn't be surprised if Rachel Summers, Excalibur version of Rachel Summers comes next year sometime. They talked about that they would be doing one, when they announced that Excalibur box set, but that it was going to take some time to actually get, because Rachel's going to require new tooling and all that, so it would take some time. So I have a feeling we'll end up seeing that maybe next year sometime. Of course, I was expecting sometime this year to see at least either Wolfsbane for X Factor or Pharaoh for X Force, and so far we've not yet seen either one of those two. So I never got the Sabretooth, but the Juggernaut was definitely a good figure. Most of their Hulk figures are usually pretty good. The Watcher figure is good. Yeah, and that, like, my preferred Ghost Rider is Danny Keach. But since I don't think he's going to come with a motorcycle, I'm almost hoping that it's Johnny Blaze, because we've already basically gotten a Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider and we have his bike. So I'd rather see Danny Keach held off until we can actually get his bike to go with him. Um, so, but I agree. If they did a Robbie Reyes, I feel like they'd need to give us his Charger as well. Yeah, Titanium Man's a great figure. The Silver Centurion Iron Man figure is an awesome figure from Diamond Select Toys. So, see, I didn't have a great experience. Well, I didn't get their animated series figures, but their regular Ghostbuster figures, at least the first ones they did, had a lot of quality control issues. So I was not too. Those initial ones they did for Ghostbusters did not leave a good taste in my mouth. I didn't get that one, the Cosmic Ghost Rider, but that looked, I mean, for the character, it looked like a pretty cool one. Anonymous Dude, my three favorite Joe characters. So I assume you mean actual part of the G.I. Joe team. So, I mean, I like Snake Eyes, but I feel like Snake Eyes is so overused these days that I'm hesitant to put him in my top three. Um, Stalker has always been one of my favorites. Trying to think who I'd put as a top three. I prefer. I mean, to be absolutely honest, I prefer Cobra characters over GI Joe. But Snow Job, I always liked Snow Job as a kid. I always liked the skis that you could attach to his feet and stuff. So I always thought he was a cool figure. Um, CoverGirl was actually always one of my favorite female characters, even though she never really got a whole lot of, airtime or anything. She was the least, even though she was part of the original lineup, she was always like barely ever used. And maybe that's kind of why I liked her. But I was very happy to hear that CoverGirl is getting a classified figure. So that was like one of my favorite reveals the other week during the live stream, was that CoverGirl was getting a figure. Any rumors about I have not heard anything about a comic version of America Chavez. There is supposed to be. Well, you mean comic Kate Bishop? No, I've not heard anything about comic Kate Bishop. I think it was the last live stream, somebody asked about, you know, I had talked about a while back about how there's supposed to be some type of two pack with a Hawkeye or Hawkeye related two pack coming, and which was never revealed or announced, which I thought was weird, that they didn't announce it when the show was on. I've done some checking. It looks like that is still something that is supposed to be coming, but I don't know why they haven't announced it. I don't know what figures are going to be in it or what, but um, I will tell you that there is an all comic book wave coming here in the near future. or not near future, but at the beginning of 2023. But I don't know if it's like Avengers themed or Spider-Man themed. So like it's a seven-figure wave. I have code names, but I haven't deciphered any of the code names. So, and I don't have an indication of whether it's like well, I don't think it's X-Men because there's definitely an all X-Men wave coming in early 2023. So I think it's either going to be Spider-Man or Avengers slash Iron Man, something like that, Avengers themed. So, you know, could there be a comic version of America Chavez in that wave? It's certainly possible. Same thing with Kate Bishop, but I don't know. Alpine, Stalker, and Snowjob. I don't know if I'd put Alpine as a favorite of mine. I almost want to say Torpedo. That I might put Torpedo, Snowjob, and Stalker. And again, I'm not gonna lie and say that Snake Eyes. I haven't always liked Snake Eyes. It's just like I said, he's so overplayed that I just kind of feel like other characters need to be able to get some spotlight time. Alpine and Bazooka were a good, they were a good pair in the cartoon, but they were never like favorite figures of mine. I think who else might I put in there. I guess even though he's not the most exciting figure, he was my very first GI Joe figure that I owned as a kid. So I got to give some love to Grunt, the infantryman. Law and Order, Lowlight, and Globulus. Mainframe. Well, we're getting Zorana, so maybe we'll get. I always thought it was funny when they made Zorana and Mainframe have like a fling in the cartoon. Yeah, I mean Cobra. I mean, I was very happy we're getting the Crimson Guard twins and the Crimson Guardsman. Crimson Guardsman's definitely my favorite version of the Cobra Soldier. Uh, I always liked Firefly. He was one of my favorites. Major Blood was one of my favorites. Zartan and the Dreadnoks I always liked. Though I'll say, I mean, I didn't mind the later Dreadnoks, but Buzzer Ripper and Torch were always my favorite Dreadnoks. Or was it Mainframe and Zorana, or maybe, or was it Dusty and Zorana? I forget. I think it was Mainframe. Um, yeah, I forget. G.I. Joe was always the show that ran between the good other shows like Mask and Transform. See, G.I. Joe and Transformers usually ran like back to back often, but where I lived, Mask was actually not. Mask played late mornings when I was in school, so I never really got a chance to watch many Mask episodes. I like comic book Serpentor better than cartoon Serpentor. Anonymous's Mask was dope. A lot of people like Mask. For me, like I said, it was just, I never, I did not, I don't think I ever owned a single Mask toy. And then, like I said, I would watch occasionally the cartoon when I would stay home sick from school or something. But otherwise, I didn't get a chance to watch it. It wasn't like we had, streaming where you could go watch it whenever you wanted or anything like that. Even, back then, it's not like it was readily available on VHS tape or anything. So I just didn't have a whole lot of access to Mask. Big Boa. Did they make a figure of him? I remember when they did the Rocky Balboa figure in the GI Joe, like the GI Joe Universe comic where they like would show the bios and characters, and they had this Rocky character that they were gonna make, but then Stallone, I think, because of, as I understand, the story went that another company, I forget which company it was, but another company picked up the Rambo license, and so that killed the GI Joe Rocky Balboa figure that Hasbro was going to do. But Rocky Balboa almost joined the GI Joe team at one point. Yeah, I remember that episode. It was a pretty good episode. Remco, is that who did the Rambo figures? Yeah, and he had a cartoon. Yeah, I don't know why Hasbro picked Rocky Balboa and not Rambo for GI Joe, but and then they made a Cobra guy that was like a boxer. I think that was Big Boa, if I remember correctly. So that was supposed to be Rocky's arch nemesis, and I think that guy still got included into GI Joe, but the Rocky figure did not. Yeah, yeah. So that was supposed to be Big Boa was supposed to be Rocky's arch nemesis, Cobra, arch nemesis. So that's why they're essentially he has the boxing gloves and everything because he was supposed to be taking on the GI Joe Rocky Balboa. Refrigerator Perry. I remember when they did that was like a mail away figure if I remember correctly. And he had like the football that was on like a chain or something. Bean says we're in the age of crazy toy stuff. I could see them pulling a Stallone as a GI Joe. It would be kind of interesting if they went back and tried to get Stallone to authorize the Rocky Balboa figure and ended up doing him finally. That would be kind of interesting. But I think the only time he was ever shown was like the GI Joe Universe comics. So I don't know how many of you read comics, but there was the Marvel Universe comics, which were basically if you wanted to look up specific characters, it was kind of an encyclopedia of all the different Marvel characters. And they did a GI Joe version. They did a Transformer version as well, but they did a GI Joe version, and in one of those issues is the Rocky Balboa character. Do I think they'll make a Defiant GI Joe shuttle? I doubt it. I mean, nothing's impossible, but I wouldn't expect that anytime soon. That's kind of be up there with, especially if you're talking about the 6 inch line. I mean, that's just really too big. Well, I mean, I agree with you, 3M, that Rambo would make more sense, but my guess is they probably felt Rocky, especially at that time, was more recognizable than Rambo. So that's probably why they went with Rocky as opposed to Rambo. Of course, I don't know if you guys remember it for Marvel Comics. They did this NFL superhero. I forget it. I forget the name of the character, but essentially he was a superhero, and it was like I think it was a partnership between Marvel and the NFL. But they actually gave him his own comic book for a little while. So it'd be kind of interesting if we like one day got a Marvel Legend version of that character. Bean says in his head, Rambo and Chuck Norris were both part of G.I. Joe. They technically weren't, but Street Fighter was. I remember when I think the end of G.I. Joe is when they had Street Fighter join the G.I. Joe team. Yeah, Super Pro, that was it. Yeah, a Marvel Legends Super Pro figure, that would be interesting. I don't. I mean, they would. First of all, is Refrigerator Perry still alive? I'm not even 100% sure if he's still alive. I think he is, but I won't swear to it. Yeah, he did. He did that Cobra movie. I don't remember Mortal Kombat in G.I. Joe. Just Street Fighter. And that was the neon years of Hasbro. So that's when those Street Fighter toy GI Joe Street Fighter stuff got done, was during Hasbro's fetish with neon colors, where everything was neon. So he is still alive. Okay, so I mean, if Hasbro wanted to, I'm sure they could go to him, and I'm sure he would be willing, for a certain fee. I'm sure they'd let him do it, but I'm surprised they never got Hulk Hogan to join the GI Joe team. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't try. Are you talking about the Superpower 5 inch figures from McFarlane Toys? I mean, we saw that image of the Dark Side figure leak out, but I don't know when that's going to get officially announced or go up for pre-order or anything. Maybe probably next month during San Diego would be my guess. He wants the whole 85 Bears team in GI Joe, and they could do the Super Bowl shuffle. Blake says Shredder's Revenge is amazingly fun. It looks like a good game. I mean, if you like those retro kind of games. Renegade, the next G.I. Joe live stream, which is on Instagram, it's not a full blown YouTube one, but there is an Instagram live with GI Joe tomorrow. I want to say, I think it's 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. And they say some stuff's going up for pre-order tomorrow, and so I believe it's going to be more store exclusives. So I'm thinking, since I feel like the Walmart stuff is probably not going to go up for pre-order until the Walmart Collector Con, which isn't until like July 21st. I feel like probably we're going to see those that next round of Tiger Force and Python Patrol stuff go up for pre-order at Target tomorrow. Is my guess. Now that's just a guess, but I'm about 95% sure that whatever goes up for pre-order tomorrow for GI Joe is going to be a store exclusive. I think he's a little taller than 6 inch, but he doesn't, like, he's not like a 12-inch figure. I mean, Apocalypse kind of changes in sizes, so, but I believe it's going to be about the same size as like the previous Apocalypse figure that they did. Yeah, so they should give us the names of two more figures coming in 2023. No images, but they'll give us the names of two more. And then, like I said, they have indicated some stuff's going to go up for pre-order. So we'll get like finalized images as opposed to the digital renders. And again, my guess is probably going to be Target Tiger Force stuff. Like maybe the Duke and Ram cycle. And I forget, like, I forget what the other ones. Bazooka, I think, was one of the ones that they showed. Um, but that's my guess. And whether they give us anything else tomorrow, I don't know. Next Wednesday is going to be the big they're gonna have, to end the month, they're gonna have a big YouTube live stream. And I suspect we probably will get the details for the Haslab, the G.I. Joe Haslab then. And maybe that Dr. Mindbender, though it's possible we could find out where that Dr. Mindbender is going tomorrow. I don't know. Especially if that Dr. Mindbender is some type of store exclusive or maybe a Summer Con exclusive. But I'm thinking probably next Wednesday is when we're going to get the details on the Haslab. Yeah, Sean says more pre-orders. Yeah, I've seen some people getting those initial Python Patrol figures, but I still haven't gotten anything on mine. Well, in the original G.I. Joe cartoon with the mass device, the five-parter, CoverGirl had blonde hair, but then they changed it after that. But there's never been, I don't think there's ever been a figure with blonde hair. Now I could see Super 7, and Super 7 gives us a CoverGirl figure for their Ultimates line. I could see them giving us a blonde hair version. You talking about when he had that dream? So what else? Let's see. Should be getting some more Obi-Wan reveals tomorrow from Hasbro. I don't know what though. And then of course tomorrow is going to be the final episode of Disney Plus Obi-Wan, so we'll see how that ends. You got a cancellation recently? I know a while back they canceled them, but then they put them back up for pre-order. That they already do that. That's called an NFT. That's basically what NFTs are. Was there a blonde cover girl in the movie line? I don't remember that. Sean says check your payment method on the Target pre-orders. If it expired, that they might just cancel it. Jerry's saying third sister not effective. Oh, nope, she wasn't. But let's be honest, we knew that before the show even started because we know, it's not like Darth Vader's going to be killed in this series. It's not like Obi-Wan's going to be killed in this series. It's not like Luke or Leia are going to get killed in this series. So, we know the final outcome for all these characters. So I think I said that last week. While I've been overall enjoying the Obi-Wan series, knowing what's going to happen to all these characters does take some of the suspense out of it. Well, I don't. CoverGirl wasn't in the actual GI Joe movie. I don't think the live action movies, but they may have done a figure of her. I don't remember. Oh, that you're right. That was CoverGirl, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't really count that as CoverGirl. But in the actual cartoon, in the very her very first appearance, she had blonde hair. Well, no, he doesn't. The Inquisitors are in the Rebels series, so other than the third sister, which was not in the Rebel sister in the Rebel series, like the that's why when it seemed like they killed the Grand Inquisitor, it was like, we see him in Rebels. How could they have killed him in the Obi-Wan series? Which apparently they didn't. And I gotta say, getting stuck through with a lightsaber just doesn't seem to have the impact it used to. I mean, it used to be if you got touched by a lightsaber, you just like disappeared and died. And now you get like the lightsaber run through you and it doesn't seem to do much. It's just like, yeah, okay, I'm better now. Well, code name, I mean, going with the code, I mean, Cover Girl, which brings to mind like, a magazine, model. So yeah, the long blonde hair is more fitting for the code name. But like, I don't think like the original toy, the original Cover Girl figure that came with the Wolverine, she had short, reddish hair with that. She didn't have blonde hair. The only time I ever saw her with blonde hair was in that first 5-part cartoon series. Even in the comics, I don't think she had blonde hair. I won't swear to it in the comics, but because she was never really used that much in the comics. But right, yeah, Qui-Gon got stuck through it. He was dead. The hell, Qui-Gon? I don't know if that's one of CoverGirl's abilities or skills. I mean, she's the to me she's the Wolverine driver. She drives the Wolverine tank, which actually was always one of my favorite GI Joe vehicles. One of the original GI Joe vehicles. I always liked the Wolverine tank with the missiles. Well, I wouldn't recommend you pay premium price for Hasbro membership, but also at the same time you can get Apocalypse everywhere, so or at least online everywhere. So why even go to Hasbro Pulse? I think even Amazon has it, or I don't know if it's still available there, but I think Amazon had it up for pre-order too. I always like Lady J too. Yeah, I had heard the double stomach thing, but if that's true, they should probably at least tell us that. They just he just pops back up like, oh hey, look, I'm still alive. No explanation or anything. Well, there's always the last episode, Jerry. You never know. Maybe Jar Jar's gonna pop up last minute. I forgot about her, Zartan's daughter. But G.I. Joe really does not have a shortage of female characters. I mean, but being they gave us, Karmakura, or however you say his name, Kamakura or whatever, Snake Eyes' protege. That was kind of a weird choice to be giving us already in the classified line, but being they're giving him, which is a more modern character, I certainly wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see Zartan's daughter. Who's the more entertaining 80s villain, Cobra Commander or Skeletor? That's a tough one. Just for pure entertainment, like in the cartoons, I think I might lean a little more towards Skeletor, to be honest. Henry, no, I mean I haven't planned on it. I still have that first Sergeant Slaughter figure on pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store as yet to ship. So I refuse to get any more until I get at least that figure. I don't remember. I believe that was an IDW creation, so you'd have to go back and read that. I want to say Skeletor was the more entertaining villain, mainly because he had more bad guy, like screw up henchmen to work off of for the entertainment, vibe. Most of the Cobra Commander, most of his cronies were much more, in fact, were probably smarter than he was, and such. So whereas like Skeletor's henchmen were all a bunch of bumbling idiots usually. So that gave a lot more for Skeletor to work with as far as entertainment goes. Yeah, he did. Bumbling boobs. Do I ever think they'll make a classified Cobra Commander as a half snake? I doubt it. I don't think they even ever did that in a 3 3/4 inch line. So, see, I feel like entertainment wise, Starscream is actually a better, would give Skeletor more of a run for his money than Cobra Commander. Or 6 inch figure. See, I mean, that many figures would be like, that would be like over $100 box set. And I got to be honest, I I don't think I would be that interested in those characters as humans for that much money. The old Snake by himself, maybe, but I definitely wouldn't really be that interested in, you know, the human versions of Ultra Magnus, Rodimus, Springer, and RC. Cobra Commander is not a terrible leader, and he's just, and in the comics, I mean, in the comics, Cobra Commander is a lot, he's not a buffoon, kind of like they portray him in the cartoon. So, but even in the cartoon, I mean, it's his ego that always gets the best of him. Somebody already asked about Fatal Fluffies earlier. If they did Fatal Fluffies, they'd have to give us both versions: the like a 2 pack with the cute version, and then the monster version. The club, I think, did do Old Snake, but I don't remember them doing all the other Transformers as humans. Like the collector club gave us, I think, like Marissa Fairborn. They gave us a Marissa Fairborn figure, and I think they did an Old Snake figure, but I don't remember them doing like Ultra Magnus, Rodimus, and RC and Springer as humans. Was Shredder a buffoon in the cartoon? I don't. I mean, they're all buffoons sometimes, but I don't remember Shredder being quite the buffoon that Cobra Commander was. 3M, yeah, the Fatal Fluffies were in the Pyramid of Darkness 5 part episode, and they hide them on on the space shuttle so that when they get up to the space station, the Joes let them out, and they look like little cute furry creatures, and so they're like, "Oh, how adorable!" And then Zartan, who is in disguise, blows a whistle, and they grow into these huge monsters, and they capture the entire GI Joe team, or the Joes that were on the space station. I feel like it was Krang that was more of the buffoon in the cartoon than Shredder. Yeah, I agree with. From what I remember, it was Krang that was more of the idiot. And Megatron was not a buffoon in the cartoon. Now Galvatron was, but Megatron was, I mean, he still would get beat, but Megatron was pretty badass in the cartoon. Yeah, well, I mean that yeah, they made him nuts, but so nuts that he was basically just an idiot and he was annoying. I Galvatron, they ruined that character. I mean, he was so good in the movie, and then they just ruined him in the regular cartoon. Oh, did they do? I must have missed those. I'm not really interested in getting them, but I don't remember them doing those. Well, that was in the movie, but even in just the regular cartoon, Megatron wasn't really a buffoon or an idiot. He just usually, somebody like Starscream would stab him in the back and screw everything up. But Megatron was a pretty, you know, deadly bad guy to go up against. Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget. But we never saw Dr. Claw. All we ever saw was his hand and his cat, right? I don't think we ever saw Dr. Claw himself. Hordak was not the buffoon that Skeletor was, but I feel like Hordak was lazy. He never really did much himself. And let's be honest, in the cartoon, he was kind of lame. I mean, like his biggest thing is he could turn into a rocket and take off. I mean, they did not really make Hordak that menacing in the cartoon. Yeah, well, I mean the 2000X series was a lot more serious than the original Filmation series. Mumra wasn't really a buffoon either. He just, as much as he liked to tout how powerful he was, he just really was not strong enough to take out the Thundercats. And the mutants were a bit of the mutants were kind of buffoons. So again, Mumra didn't have a lot to work with as far as henchmen. I've never. The Dr. Claw was the original Inspector Gadget. It's the first I've heard that, but then I don't remember a lot of people theorizing who Claw was. I always, I always thought, because Don Adams voiced Inspector Gadget, I always thought of Inspector Gadget as just a cartoon version of Get Smart, which I don't know if how many of you have ever watched Get Smart, but it starred Don Adams, and he was a bumbling buffoon, kind of 007 type character. He had a phone in his shoe. All right, well, I think it's getting on to be almost 8:30, so I think we will go on and wrap it up. But as always, guys, much appreciated for everyone who stopped in and chatted tonight. We'll see. My feeling is next week is when we'll learn the Haslab, but I suppose they could wait until July. But I'm thinking probably next Wednesday is when we're going to find out what the actual Haslab's going to be. So we'll see if it's a Thunder Tank. We'll see if it's a His Tank and or maybe Triple T. Probably going to be His Tank, but I would not, if it ended up being a Triple T tank for Sergeant Slaughter, I would not be surprised. But probably if I had to place a bet, I would say it's going to be a His Tank. Hasbro live stream tomorrow on Instagram, G.I. Joe brand. Probably only get a couple things going up for pre-order. The names of a couple more characters. But that should be coming tomorrow. Obi-Wan Wednesday reveals tomorrow. We'll have all that news up on the website, so hopefully you'll check that out. Should have a news video out tomorrow or afternoon. So whatever's revealed for G.I. Joe, I'll let you guys know then. And then I don't know if we'll do another live stream on Thursday. I don't know if we'll do 2 live streams this week. Play it by ear, but possibly. And then of course Friday another news video. But Again, thanks for everybody who chimed in or came in tonight. Always love seeing and hearing from you guys. Stay safe out there. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, though if you're commenting, I think you have to be subscribed, so probably most of you are. But anyway, stay safe out there. Be good. Until next time, I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification to alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News Message Boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.